Octavian, who would later become known as Augustus, for which this month is named, entered Alexandria, Egypt on this date in 30 BC, after the death of his rival Mark Antony and Queen Cleopatra. This event marks a significant turning point in Roman history, as it marks the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Octavian's entrance into Alexandria solidified his position as the sole ruler of Rome, and he would later become the first Roman emperor, reigning for over 4 decades. His victory in Egypt secured his control over the vast Roman territories, allowing him to implement crucial reforms and establish the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability across the empire. The fall of Alexandria not only brought Egypt under Roman control, but also symbolized the end of the long-standing Ptolemaic dynasty, which had ruled Egypt for centuries. This conquest elevated Rome to a dominant position in the Mediterranean and further expanded its influence into the eastern territories. Octavian's strategic brilliance and political acumen not only secured his position, but also set the foundation for the Roman Empire's growth and prosperity. With the collapse of the Roman Republic, the traditional republican institutions gradually transformed into a centralized imperial system, with the Senate losing much of its power to the emperor. Augustus implemented various administrative and military reforms that strengthened the empire, stabilizing its frontiers and improving the lives of Roman citizens. The legacy of Octavian as Augustus endured long after his death. His reign is considered a golden age in Roman history, with a flourishing of arts, literature, and architecture known as the Augustan Age. His policies laid the groundwork for subsequent emperors, influencing Roman governance for centuries to come. In the year 607 AD, Ono no Imoko, a Japanese envoy, embarked on a momentous diplomatic mission to the Sui court in China, signifying an important chapter in East Asian relations during the Asuka period. The mission aimed to strengthen political ties between Japan and the emerging Sui Dynasty, led by Emperor Yang. Ono no Imoko carried a letter from the Japanese emperor expressing Japan's submission to the Sui Dynasty and seeking to establish friendly diplomatic relations. The embassy represented an early instance of cultural exchange between the two neighboring civilizations, showcasing the early maritime interactions in East Asia. It facilitated the exchange of knowledge, ideas, and technologies, including architectural styles, Buddhism, and Confucianism. The visit also marked the first instance of official communication between Japan and China, laying the groundwork for future diplomatic exchanges and contributing to the spread of Chinese cultural influence in Japan. This diplomatic mission further fostered trade and cultural ties between the two countries. As a result of the interactions, Chinese culture, art, and philosophy significantly influenced Japanese society during the period. It also opened the door for future diplomatic missions, which continued to play a crucial role in the cultural and political evolution of both nations. The mission of Ono no Imoko to the Sui court exemplified the importance of diplomacy in maintaining stable relations between ancient states and promoting mutual understanding. The subsequent centuries would see further engagements between Japan and China, with the transmission of Buddhism and Confucianism playing a pivotal role in shaping Japanese culture and society. In 1291, the Old Swiss Confederacy was formed with the signing of the Federal Charter, a foundational document that brought together 3 cantons, Uri, Schweiz, and Unterwalden, in a political alliance. This event marks the beginning of Switzerland as a nation, laying the groundwork for its eventual independence and sovereignty. The formation of the Old Swiss Confederacy was a response to external threats, particularly from the Holy Roman Empire. The 3 founding cantons sought to unite for mutual defense and to preserve their autonomy and traditional rights. The Federal Charter established principles of cooperation, mutual assistance, and peaceful dispute resolution among the cantons, forging the basis of a decentralized confederation. Over time, additional cantons joined the alliance, and the confederation gradually expanded. The spirit of unity and cooperation among the Swiss cantons allowed them to withstand external pressures and maintain their independence through the turbulent medieval period. The signing of the Federal Charter is commemorated annually as Swiss National Day, celebrating the nation's foundation and its commitment to unity and diversity. It symbolizes the Swiss people's determination to protect their freedom and their unique system of direct democracy, where decisions are made by the citizens through referendums and initiatives. The old Swiss Confederacy's legacy lives on in modern Switzerland, a federal state with strong regional identities and cultural diversity. The principles of cooperation and compromise laid out in the Federal Charter continue to underpin Swiss politics, enabling the nation to navigate various challenges and maintain its reputation as a neutral and peaceful country. The Act of Union in 1800 represented a landmark legislative package that merged the Kingdom of Great Britain and the Kingdom of Ireland into a single political entity known as the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. This legislative unification aimed to promote greater economic and political stability within the British Isles. The Acts of Union were driven by various factors, including concerns over British discontent and a desire to address economic disparities between the two kingdoms. By uniting the two countries, proponents had hoped to create a more robust and cohesive political entity that would be better equipped to face challenges both domestically and internationally. However, the Acts of Union were met with mixed reactions in Ireland. Many Irish nationalists viewed the Union as an erosion of their country's autonomy and independence, as it meant the dissolution of the Irish Parliament. Furthermore, Catholics in Ireland were not granted full political rights, perpetuating religious discrimination and tension. The Union also faced opposition from some factions in Great Britain, who were concerned about the potential political and economic repercussions. Nonetheless, the Acts were eventually passed by both the British and Irish parliaments, with the Union officially taking effect on January 1st, 1801. While the Acts of Union did succeed in bringing the two kingdoms together, they did not resolve the underlying issues between Great Britain and Ireland. Tensions persisted, and calls for Irish independence intensified over the subsequent decades. Ultimately, the island of Ireland would be divided in the 20th century, leading to the establishment of Northern Ireland, which remained part of the United Kingdom, and the independent Republic of Ireland. The division has had long-lasting political and social consequences, shaping the modern history of both nations. The Warsaw Uprising began as the Polish resistance, known as the Home Army, launched a courageous revolt against the Nazi German occupation forces in Warsaw, Poland. The uprising, which commenced on August 1, 1944, aimed to liberate the city and establish Polish sovereignty after years of brutal occupation and oppression. The Warsaw Uprising was a response to the deteriorating situation in occupied Poland and the approach of the Soviet Red Army, which was advancing towards Warsaw. The Polish underground resistance saw an opportunity to reclaim their capital before the Soviets arrived, seeking to avoid a Soviet-dominated post-war Poland. The Home Army's fight for freedom was met with fierce resistance from the German forces, who retaliated with brutal and indiscriminate measures against the civilian population. The ensuing battle raged on for 63 days, with both sides engaging in intense street-to-street combat and heavy bombardments. Despite the immense bravery and tenacity of the Polish fighters, the uprising was eventually crushed by the better equipped and larger German forces. The German victory was followed by a ruthless destruction of Warsaw, leaving much of the city in ruins and resulting in an estimated 150 to 200,000 civilian casualties. The Warsaw Uprising became a symbol of the Polish people's unwavering determination to resist tyranny and fight for their nation's independence. Despite its military defeat, the uprising left a lasting impact on the nation's collective memory, becoming a potent symbol of Polish resilience and the will to stand up against oppression. The tragic events of the Warsaw Uprising also exposed the complexities of international relations during World War II. The Western Allies' limited support for the Polish resistance and the Soviet Union's decision not to aid the uprising until it was too late added to the tragedy and shaped post-war Polish politics. Today, the memory of the Warsaw Uprising continues to be commemorated annually, honoring the bravery and sacrifice of the Polish resistance fighters and the civilians who endured unimaginable suffering. The uprising remains an indelible chapter in Polish history, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Polish people and their struggle for freedom and independence.